back. We be pubbing, Pub Sports Radio, Talkin Hands edition, UFC 272. We got Liam and Edson Barboza. We got Danny and Bryce, Thug, Nasty, Mitchell, and we got a showdown. Starting with you, Liam. What we doing?
Absolutely. So in this case, we've got Edson Barboza. The guy's got, 4 times the UFC experience as somebody like Bryce Mitchell, who's coming in here. His record looks very shiny on paper, and I'll agree. 14-0, very good. But he does have an amateur loss by submission. He was submitted on The Ultimate Fighter as well. So, a couple asterisks there on that undefeated record. And on top of that, he's just fought a much lower level of competition so far in the UFC. This is going to be a huge step up fighting somebody like Edson, who's, he's got the scalps of the likes of Beneil Dariush, Anthony Pettis, guys at the top of the division, one weight class up. How about Shane Burgos, local legend, Section 9, stand up. But Shane Burgos, was finished in that fight there, and the guy is very durable. The guy's got a ton of heart and just couldn't take the power shots, the boxing in that fight. I thought that the boxing made the difference as well against Makwan Amirkhani. And we haven't really seen Bryce Mitchell tested very often at distance. He's spent a very small percentage of his fights there. And if he's forced to stand at distance with somebody like Edson Barboza, who's got a height advantage, who's got a reach advantage, who's probably going to have a speed advantage as well, and who throws dynamic strikes, we've seen very proficient, talented grapplers. Like I mentioned, Beneil Dariush got hurt on the way in, tried to enter in around the body lock, jumping knee in a fight where he was having a lot of success, and it evaporates so quick. And I think that's the danger always when you're fighting Edson Barboza. He's going to be extremely motivated in this matchup. He was kind of bested at his own game last time out by somebody like Giga Chikadze, who's willing to stand on the feet, who's willing to trade blow for blow. And this matchup, he's going to have a little bit more of a matchup he's used to. Guys chasing after him, trying to get a hold of that takedown. And we've seen the most prolific, proficient grapplers have had success. When you think of Khabib Nurmagomedov, a lot of guys have struggled to hold him down, to have that success. It's been pressure strikers on the feet who've had a lot of success backing him up. So I think that Edson's going to have a lot to offer. He's going to be very motivated coming off that loss. He's still trying to find his footing in this featherweight division, and a win over, an undefeated prospect like Bryce Mitchell could put him right back in the driver's seat. So I like Edson Barboza's chances here, and he's been profitable as a dog. So hey, there's worse ways to sprinkle your money here than Edson Barboza.
I agree a lot about what man. We're talking about Thug Nasty. I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, he's got a black belt in BJJ. Coming from a jiu-jitsu guy, come on, bro. You know better than come on. He's a true black belt, and it's been a long time since Barboza, the guy like relentless pressure. He's gonna be on him like white on right. Not letting him. And I also think, yeah, he's a dynamic striker, Barboza, but his kick, he's going to grab one of those legs and then just take him down. And the thing is, he doesn't just lay there and hump a leg like these other guys. He's going for submission after submission after submission until you make a mistake, and it's a wrap. Until he gets choked out, unconscious, or he taps out, or the rest stops. We had Kevin Lee take him down. A lot of his fights, a lot of his losses, I know it's Khabib, obviously. I thought that a lot of his losses, he got taken down multiple times. Kevin Lee finished him, I think, in the 5th round or 4th round. And Bryce Mitchell, like I said, he's real aggressive, and he does not stop. Not to mention, he finally got his camel short. You think he's playing around? He gets to wear the camel shorts he's been crying for since he got to UFC. He's in a big stage on a huge pay-per-view against a good vet, like you said. Proven, it's a step up, but he went down, and Barboza went down to 145. He's 2-2 in the weight class, or even though one of them, it could have went either way. I thought he won. I give him that, but not impressive. He just got knocked the hell out by Giga, and we saw what happened to Giga. He got pieced up by Cage real bad. I just think styles make fights, and I think it's a horrible matchup for Barboza with Mitchell's pressure and wrestling, and he might, maybe decision, but I might take him a little round 3 for that sub. I actually already have 3 units at -150. Bryce Mitchell already locked. Let's get it.
I love it. I love the conviction. I love the confidence. I'd have to do a little bit more due diligence in terms of tape study before I actually part with my money here. But, when I look at Edson Barboza and I look at his game, man, he does have the scalp of a lot of really good grapplers on his resume. Gilbert Melendez, Beneil Dariush, Anthony Pettis. Dan Hooker's been having some recent wrestling and grappling success. And he absolutely torched that guy. Makwan Amirkhani, say what you will about Makwan. He's been getting finished, in his most recent fights.
Horrible gas tank.
Makwan doesn't have a great gas tank, but he is a relentless pressure grappler, and Edson was able to solve the riddle there and even threaten some of the anaconda chokes that Makwan is famous for. And so Edson's a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, as far as I know. He's no slouch on the ground. He's not, going to really be outclassed in those positions. And I believe that he's got some upside, man. I think when you look back, the only 2 times that he's been submitted in the UFC, and he's had 20 bouts in the UFC against killers, against the best guys in the world. He's been submitted twice, and both times were club and subs. It was Tony Ferguson, and it was Cowboy Cerrone. He got hurt by Cowboy, and that was a really long time ago in 2014. And then Tony Ferguson in an absolute war of attrition where Tony had to get his face, changed permanently in order to secure the victory there. So it was a hell of a battle. And, that's the concern here for Edson. He's a little bit older. He's a little bit longer in the tooth. He's been through some of those wars, but it's also the experience. It's also that veteran savvy where, he can find these moments. And we know it about Edson, man. He doesn't have to win the minutes of a fight to win the fight. And he's done that. He's gotten better at winning the minutes as the career has gone on. I think the move to 145 has been a bolster to his cardio, if anything, because he's had to make, systemic lifestyle changes to make the weight. And I actually think if you go back and watch that Giga fight, he does get finished there. But that was starting to look a little sketchy for Giga. That was part of my capping for the Calvin Kattar fight when I bet on him as an underdog, was I was like, Edson had really done a lot of damage to this guy, taking him into deep water, and it looked like Giga was ready to break. He just hit Edson with the right shots, and Edson couldn't stand up to the power anymore. But I think that was a fight that was, right on the edge. I believe the live odds were something like -120, -130 for Edson. Right as the finish took place, and it was starting to swing back in his favor. So, man, that was a fight where it kind of ebbed and flowed. I did think Giga was in control of the fight, but Bryce Mitchell is not going to be a ring general with Edson Barboza in this fight, I don't believe, unless he's able to get the grappling going consistently. And we have seen that Edson has a decent sprawl game. He's got that front headlock series. He's got a couple threats of his own. And, Bryce Mitchell's had a couple exploitable grapplers, and Charles Rosa, he put him through the series. He control grappled him for the whole time. He's done that to a lot of guys. There's been a few guys now who have replicated the same game plan. So it kind of takes away some of the value of that win. I think that's not going to be an easy road to hoe here. And even Kevin Lee, like you mentioned, he had to take a couple good shots. He had to do the chicken dance in order to get that win over Edson. So there's not going to be 5 rounds to work here. It's going to be a shorter match. And I think that's going to also allow Edson to open up with his offense and be dynamic. It should be a fun fight, but Edson's certainly a live underdog anytime he steps in that cage because he's got the power to end the fight.
I think the 3 rounds actually helped Doug Nasty even more at this pace. And you know that, and I know that. He's going to go all the way for those takedowns. And I hope Barboza going to throw a kick because he's got to catch that leg and put him down where I just think it's the best style fight for Barb.
All right, I'm gonna do a quick exercise for you. All right, here's the exercise: Andre Feely, Charles Rosa, Matt Sales, Bobby Moffitt, Tyler Diamond. Okay,
hey, that's
one half of the cookie, and the other half of the cookie is Giga Chikadze, Shane Burgos, Makwan Amirkhani, Dan Ige, Paul Felder, Justin Gaethje. Did I mention Dan Ige and Paul Felder are split decision robberies? Did I mention that? Did I mention that yet? This guy could be 4-1 in his last 5, Danny. And then what would we be saying? We'd be saying Edson Barboza as a short underdog to this kid who's proven very little?
Look,
man, that's a big jump.
Past opponent or out the window. Once you get in that cage, is a different guy, a different man of style. It's out the window. And of course, we're always gonna have this in UFC, an up and coming undefeated fighter against a vet like Barboza. And he's gotta have a better opponent. He's 36.
Are they going to be at a 5-inch reach deficit? Are they going to be 2 inches
that
shorter?
Reach doesn't mean anything.
Are they going to be facing the best striker in their career?
When Barboza's on the mat, that reach goes out the window. It don't matter.
Hey, man, you got to put him there. And we know one of the scariest places to be is in open space between Edson Barboza and safety, because the guy can fly through the air and end the night in one strike. He did it to Beneil Dariush, who is a world-class grappler, who has changed the way that people approach the guard. It's like Beneil Dariush is one of the best guys. He was supposed to be main eventing this card. And he got sent to the Shadow Realm, the land of wind and ghosts, because this guy, Edson Barboza, will leap through the air and knee you into oblivion.
That was
okay.
Stop
Shane
it.
Burgos, whom I
Stop
love and
it.
respect, but Shane Burgos, whom I love and respect,
Darius is way better.
Was on the wrong end of one of the uglier knockouts in the UFC at the hands of Edson Barboza. Dude, have you ever seen that? We've been watching combat sports a long time. When's the last time you saw somebody whose heart and spirit said yes, and their body said no, and they just went, it was crazy.
Mitchell's
crazy.
Not here. First of all, Mitchell's not going to stand there in the pocket just swinging like Burgos did. That's not his game. His styles makes fights.
It only takes a second, man. One slip up. If Edson feints him out with that knee and throws that spinning back kick, it could be all over. And Bryce Mitchell, I can't remember the last time he hurt somebody badly on the feet. So I don't think he's going to club and sub Edson here, man. He's going to have to find it the old fashioned way. And Edson Barboza makes people work, man. He's not just going to lay there. He's going to try and push the head down. He's going to try and get up against the fence. I believe we're in that smaller octagon. Yes. So that's going to help my man build up along the fence line.
It's going to help Mitchell. Hey, you're talking about work. This guy's from Arkansas, bro. He wrestles with alligators. He loves work. Pressure, wrestle, submission. It's gonna be a wrap. He's gonna tap.
You're gonna tap the Brazilian with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from Arkansas.
Black belt.
Okay.
Black belt.
Okay. I gotta see it to believe it. You know what I'm saying? I got my man Edson Barboza.
That's an argument. That's an argument right there. And I have no clue who's going to win that fight, to be quite honest. You guys brought that fucking heat. UFC 272. We're live on Saturday, March 5th for that fight. Be there, be fucking square. Let's fucking go. Woo! We back. We be Pub and Pub Sports Radio, Talkin Hands, UFC 272. And we got Liam. I looked at my hand too. I knew it. It's all right. I got this one. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to stare at this shit.
That actually might make it.